Wow. We're not luxury, are we? No, we're not. Here's what's going to happen. 6 years ago, it's so fun that this is the week I joined. 6.5 years ago when I met Glenn and Jason, the two people I got to meet, you get to meet 600, right? I got to meet two, and I believed in them. And I came back Thanksgiving and had Thanksgiving with my daughter Nicole, my son-in-law Brian, and my wife. And I said, I'm thinking of doing this. We started talking. So Nicole came along for the ride. You guys have heard my story. She said, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to come. And so what did she do? You guys got to learn from this. She was really not a full-time realtor. She was part-time. She cold called agents. I said, it's real simple. There's the people, just cold call. She cold calls this little blonde in Austin, Texas. By the way, we started in Austin. There's a small little company there in Austin. There's a small one. It's getting smaller. And it was Allison Gaddy. Now, Allison was a really good producing agent at that small little company. And Allison said, and I don't know what Nicole said. We don't know. You just got a call. She goes, I don't even know why I answered the phone. I don't answer the phone if I don't know the call. Do you guys know agents? You won't. If you see a number and you don't see a name behind it, you don't answer, right? Well, she did. And then she got on the phone with me, and I said, it's real simple. Let's meet. I'm much better looking in person. And that's been our joke forever. I said, I'm really good looking in person. Wait until you meet me. Just so you know, we meet, she joins, and then a couple years later, I found out some guy's trying to date her. And this is Don Hobbs. Now, if you guys have been in real estate forever, you know who Don Hobbs is. Hobbs Herder. We all bought their crap. Even Glenn at one of the meetings, Glenn stood up at one of the meetings, I'll never forget, Glenn, and you started off with, we've got the Don Hobbs with us here today. So we call him the Don Hobbs. He's now the president of Success Magazine. He's a guru. He literally at Allison, sharpest person I know. I'm talking, she is, I've gotten to love Allison, and I can't believe Don's with you, but here's Don Hobbs and Allison Gaddy! Woo! Love you guys.
Wow. Thank you, Nicole, for making that call. Honestly, the best thing I ever did was answer that phone and try to stay on and poke holes in this crazy stock you were talking about. Stock options, it's not stock. I really didn't believe it. And I'm grateful that I was open-minded. That's what you guys are looking for, just people who are open-minded. Because the one thing I know is I was not looking to move KW from KW. I mean, this was one of my mentors. He was still my friend. He hadn't survived 150 first dates yet.
I was trying, but I wasn't. Well, so we'll talk more about that. First, I want to do something really quickly because I know that we have our executive team here, which, you know, several months back when this was booked, I'm not sure everybody was coming, but guys, to have the, first of all, to be able to hug each other and feel each other and see each other has been phenomenal. And then starting with, you know, I mean, the story is awesome because ultimately you realize that Glenn Sanford set this course in motion and 11 years ago set this thing up and had a different vision than anybody ever had. And so from there, you know, there was a guy named Gene Frederick who recognized it, saw it. I mean, and
thank you, Susan, for saying yes.
Yes,
where are you?
absolutely. And of course, Jason, you were there, you know, in those early days, right? And there was probably not a lot to believe in when it was tiny. And just like, we're going to get out of the train station, and Gino sees this thing and goes, I got this. I think I got this. And everything blows up. And thank God Susan did say yes. And then, of course, people like Brent have changed the game for everybody. So thank you, Brent, very much. We love you so much. And James, wherever you are, James. I don't know where James is, but he deserves a ton of credit because
the man that makes it all happen.
If it weren't for James.
Thank you, James.
Okay.
Woo! Let's hear it for James.
You're the man. Oh, by the way, Jason, I did want to say something. This is called Resort Baller. I'm wearing my Michael Jordans, so I'm this is Resort Baller, okay? This is, just want to let you know. I didn't know if there was some, I walked in and there was some controversy over what we were wearing, so I just. This is as close as I'm ever going to get to slam dunking the basketball, that's for sure. Anyway, I wanted to acknowledge you. Our executive team is amazing. Of course, we've got Stacy and Dave and so many, and we are so lucky, you guys. I've been in this industry for 43 years. I started my career with Jim Rohn. I'm just going to tell you the quickest story. And 40 years ago, I started speaking in the real estate world, and we did do a lot of stuff in there. And so I was there when RE/MAX started. I was there when Keller Williams started. I was there when all those companies started. And I can tell you there's never been anything like this. And so this story is pretty remarkable because when Nicole, thank you very much for making the call. And we were friends, and I remember when she called. Go ahead and tell them that story, because that was pretty...
I called him, and he said, I wouldn't have put you in touch with my president of marketing had I known you were leaving the family.
I said, you're leaving the family?
He was upset, but he wasn't that upset.
I was actually Gary Keller's partner on a project and his One Thing book and whatever. We were doing this thing, but it was really interesting because she called me and she said, I'm leaving, and I don't think she said the family, I said the family, and then, and I couldn't believe she was leaving the family, and for this what? I didn't even know the name. I didn't know if it was ESPN or what. It was kind of like there was something, what was that? What did she say? All I know is she's leaving. And then literally it became this issue of, I couldn't see her leaving, and yet when she told me, you told me it's my business, I can take it anywhere I want to, it's my business, and if I don't like it, I can always come back, which, by the way, she's never gone back, clearly. But the thing is that at that time, we have to realize that it was a little company. She's agent 641. There was nothing. There was nothing except Jean and Susan and Nicole, and I mean, Glenn, sorry, I don't mean to minimize you guys. You were there, of course. But I mean, it was a little tiny company. So I think the biggest thing today is we want to drop some ideas on you, because there's some things that, as we look at our history together, and I wasn't there, so I'm now wondering what she's doing. Eventually, we were in this thing where we call it 150 first dates. So I was doing my darndest. I would take this girl on dates. We would go. I'd go cook her steak dinner, flambe. I would do whatever I could, and I'd go home alone. I mean, I would absolutely go home alone. So it wasn't working. And so.
What's the moral of that story? Persistence, recruiting, persistence pays off, right? Stay persistent, keep following up, and persistence pays off.
Close the deal. And by the way, is that true of recruits? They don't come over instantaneously. In fact, it's really funny because she came over in one day, but we also know people that have taken 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever. And as long as it takes, how long do you keep working on it? How long do you keep cooking them steak dinners and dating 150 first times, right? And that's the same thing in our business. We have to, be realistic about the fact that just because you got it, I mean, the biggest phrase I love is, it's a no-brainer. And yet some people go, it's not a no-brainer for me. It's hard. They got to leave their family, their real estate work family. That's the way they see it. Pete, they got to, wherever Pete went, they got to buy their signs. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they have to see a reason to leave. People that are busy and successful, they're not just sitting around with pain. They're happy where they are.
Yep.
So you have to be patient and really show them the vision of what we have, so they're moving towards something as opposed to away from something.
I don't know if, Glenn, you ever heard this story, but I was at that other company, and I was in their corporate meetings, and we had a room, not this big, but close to it, about half this size, with all the employees. And at that time, that black and red company was tracking all their growth against everybody else's. And so you'd see on this chart, big chart, you'd see, there was RE/MAX, and there was Century 21, and there was Coldwell Banker, there was all these companies. And the smallest company on this whole chart was Berkshire Hathaway at 60,000 agents. They'd never tracked anybody less. I was in every meeting, every single year, every single month, and they would track that. The lowest one always was 60,000 and above. And one day I was sitting in that meeting, and this little company called EXP shows up. Now, still remember, we've just gotten together.
No, at that point, we had moved in together, and so I'm at EXP growing, my rev share organization, my real estate business, trying to figure out how to get him out of KW International, which is like a quarter mile down the street from our house. This was his first aha. He came home and he told me about this.
On the bottom of that screen, there was all these massive numbers and growth and all that, and at the bottom, there was this little company with 7,500 agents. That's when they put it on their radar screen and said, holy crap. Because they knew what was happening. I leaned over and hit the guy that was heading up all of Bold, my good friend John Prescott. I said, do you think they're scared? He said, they're scared. Yeah. I almost said it. Not going to, because it's on video. But I'm telling you guys that this company has been just remarkable to watch the growth and to watch what's been going on and to see. And you know, yesterday we came out to the party. What an incredible party. We came out to the party yesterday. Great job, Brent and team. That was phenomenal. So we head out to the party yesterday. And I said, it's so interesting that we haven't been together for a year plus. And in that year, there's so many people. Like we went to Mexico last year and we were like, oh, we know everybody. We came here and we're like, we don't know anybody.
It's awesome.
It's so phenomenal to watch the growth and to see who's coming to this, who's bringing their talents and who's going. So number one, remember, you got to be persistent. Whether it's dating or whether it's recruiting, you have to be persistent. 2, everybody's gettable. Everybody's gettable.
Including Don Hobbs.
Everybody's gettable. At some point in time, everybody's gettable because their gates to change is going to open at some point. Can't tell you what it's going to be. And I'll tell you the thing that we've taught, and I remember we did a management class many years ago, and it's called Mega Managing. And in that Mega Managing class, we always said one of the goals you should always have is to be their surrogate manager. And what that means is if you drip on them and take care of them and give them things and send them value, you send them value all the time, just like their managers should be, their leaders should be, the people that are ruling their company should be, but you're the one that's doing it, and they start to say, you know what, I'm getting more from Allison than I'm getting from my own company. And at some point in time, all it takes is one day when they get just ticked off at something, and then they go, let's call Allison, it's time to move. So the thing that I would love about what this woman has done that's been so amazing is to see the heart she brings to it. So I don't know if it's point number 3 or 4, but whatever it is, I would say you got to have a heart and care for your people because it's what makes the difference. It's not the compensation model that Pete had up here, the comp and all the stock and all that stuff. It's wonderful. But if they don't feel you, that stuff doesn't matter. They've got to go to a place where they're going to feel wanted and connected, and they're going to really own it with you. And then the compensation model, then all that stuff. Are you going to take care of me? Can I trust you? Are you in it with me? Do you have my future in mind? What I'll tell you is that this company, when I think about it now, it's that's not wiping tears, by the way, as emotional as I do get about this. This company is the first company in history, and listen to me carefully because these are important words to hear. This company is the first company in history to have the financial future of the agent in mind, not the financial future of the franchisee or the franchisor in mind.
That was
First
another
time in
big
history.
aha.
First time in history.
Absolutely, and I don't know what number you're on. Another
I have no idea.
golden nugget.
Number next.
Gene will remember this, guys. You that are growing, you want to expand, grow your organization. Obviously, people come here and they go back to real estate, right? And they need to be reminded why they're here, what the opportunity is, what the culture is. And the day that he was reminded, you always need to recruit them and then re-recruit them and re-recruit them. And so Gene went with us to a dinner one day in Palm Desert. Remember that?
No, in Austin with...
In Palm Desert, we were, and Don was listening to Gene, talking about the opportunity. And he was already with us, we were already building, but it was that day, by the end of the dinner, he was like, I gotta go. And really, that was the day. And so just remember that people always need to be reminded, people always, need to see the vision.
Yeah, I think it's really important that you realize that your own team is going to need to hear the story again and again and again. Part of coaching is saying the same things over and over again. The greatest coaches, in fact, if you think about the Wizard of Westwood, John Wooden, he started his coaching with, here's how you put on socks. I mean, you're going to have to remind people a lot about what they already know, but you're going to remind them because they've forgotten. They lose the vision. And we've got to make sure that they keep the vision high because there's a point where they could fall back into only thinking they're doing real estate the way they've always done it and forget where they are. Which I have a comment about that in a second. But I think it's really important to remember that you've got to remind people what the real opportunity is, where they are and where they're sitting today, because they forget. They get in because it sounds really cool, and then they forget and they do what they've always done. So it's really important to remember that you've got to bring them up and continue to elevate them to the levels that we are thinking, because this company is, nothing's ever grown like this. I mean, I don't know how, Glenn, Jason, Dave, I don't know how the guys keep up with it, because the truth is, this is record shattering. This is world breaking. This is like nothing has ever grown this fast. Fastest growing real estate company in the history of real estate. I mean, there's nothing like it. So I really want to talk just in closing, not my closing, but just a couple of closing thoughts. Come in anytime. So a couple of thoughts. One is, we are in a place. We are in a place. Go ahead.
I'll just let you struggle over there. You're never at a loss for words.
I'm
so
not at
you're
a loss
fine.
for words.
You're fine.
I could go on.
I think you can
we're
handle
coming
it.
to the end of our time. I'm not lost for words ever. So here we are in this financial opportunity, and we have a chance. I woke up one day, so this is after I closed the deal and we're living together, and I rolled, and I was still doing my training stuff and kind of my what comes normal to me, coaching, training, all that stuff. And I rolled out of bed one day and I said, I just got it. I just got it. I said, I just got that you own a region for this company. I said, you own a, go ahead.
You can't buy your way in. You can build your way in. Right, Brent?
That's it. I said, you own a region, and the beauty is, I mean, I know regional owners from Keller Williams. I know lots of people that are regional owners in RE/MAX. John Asraf is one of the more famous ones. I know lots of people that are regional owners for Century 21. Lots of regional owners. You know what they had? They had a big price tag. They had to pay for that. They had to then build it, and they had geographic boundaries. Guess what we don't have? We don't have to buy it, and we can grow it anywhere. We're not thinking about La Jolla. We're thinking about the whole frickin' world. We're talking about getting into, how many more countries? We sat with Michael last night for dinner and said, how many more countries? Like, we're going to be in 20 plus countries by the end of this year. 20 plus countries. You're starting to think not like a RE/MAX agent would, or like a Keller Williams agent would. Oh, we've got to get some people in our market center. Your market center is huge. How big can you think? Everything is as big as you can think, and so one of the next points is have a huge vision for it. And, Glenn always cites this quote in this passage that says, begin with the end in mind. Does anybody remember who that is? Stephen Covey, 7 Habits. Begin with the end in mind for each and every one of you. If you get in and take the first step, it's linear. If you get in and think about where it's going, then go to the end and back into it, you will create a massive, massive opportunity. We've got to go to the end and create what it is that we see. What's the vision for it? And when you start to come from that place and see what the potential is, listen, we've got models. We've got Gene Frederick with 13,000 people. We've got, I don't know what the accurate number is. It's probably more than that. We got Brent with how many? 13,000. We're not sitting here going, well, I wonder if it's going to work. I wonder if anybody's going to get anybody. I'm just wondering, do we have a chance? Is this thing going to make it? I remember when people laughed, you were even questioning the stock.
I don't remember that.
Did she not ask you, is the stock real? Is it stock options or stock?
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So the stock, I know people that said, I like your company, except I don't know if I believe in the stock, and I don't love that profit share thing, or that revenue share thing. And I'm like, I don't care if you love it or not, just you don't have to use it. But the fact is, the stock, you're going to argue about the stock? How do you argue with the stock? It's like $60-some, and last year at this time it was like 10. I don't know how you argue with that. By the way, when she got in, it was
52 cents.
52 cents a share.
Yeah, so let's all remember, this is a life-changing opportunity, you guys. It is the one single chance to have laser focus and do something for your life. Our freedom number, what has that allowed us to do? Our start date, we really say, I started in 2015. Don't chase squirrels like I did for the first couple years. Do not do that. There is no better opportunity. This is the one. just stay very focused on building. Don't do what I did, because my number would be twice that. Actually, probably 3 or 4 times that had I not looked at other things. So Dawn and I really started building a year and a half ago. We moved to Puerto Rico. We are almost at about $35,000 a month, and that's freedom money. So that's why we're here.
Anyway,
Thanks,
guys. It's been an incredible ride. I'm so grateful to you for including me in it and for accepting my 151st date win. And Glenn, we've just recently acquired the Success property, and we've got Success Magazine, Success.com. Thank you for including me in that, Glenn. We've got so many cool things coming. We've got coaching. We've got a speakers bureau. We've got so many fun things, and all of it. What I love about Glenn's mind is it's always about creating another thing that tacks on to the greatness of this company to add more to what you have in your stock and for your betterment. And there's nobody that's ever had that vision. Everybody's always about, how do we make a profit? How do we make it for us? And this company is all about making it different. And when you start considering what we've got going now with Verbella, we've got the technology that kills. We've got Success and all the properties within that. Have you guys seen the Success space? Have you seen our new, you know what that is? You guys got to check into it. We've got co-working space called Success Space. Yeah, Glenn's brain went to that one. We've got coaching. You guys came from companies, you had coaching. You don't know where to go for coaching? We got coaching. We've got everything for you, and what I really love about this company is Glenn, Jason, and the executive team aren't resting at all. In fact, I know Dave puts in some hours, serious hours, on our behalf, constantly figuring out what's next for us. Glenn is constantly creating. Jason is constantly envisioning more and bigger and faster. And guys, this is the only company that will ever have the chance to do what we've got. We're part of it right now. This is the beginning of a new beginning. By the way, every day is a new beginning here for us, because at 53 or 54,000 agents, wherever we are today, by the end of this year, we're going to be 100,000. This is a new beginning today. Go get a bunch of great people to join this company, and let's take this thing all the way to 1 million agents.
Woo! Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.